Indy Mogul.
Relax. Crazy! Relax.
Tie-Dye Productions asks, are you, Eric, Puppet Zack, and Gary ever going to come together and make a super episode? Because that would be great. Yes, it would be great, and we want to do that, and it's just a matter of scheduling and timing, and we are working on it. Wild Rose asks, what is your take on this movement to bring back 3D movies? Do you think it's worth investing time and effort in? It depends on the movie. If you're gonna shoot it in 3D, that's one thing. But when you take a movie and then convert it to 3D, then it looks really goofy. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I personally am not for the 3D movement.
Well, I mean, like,
some movies it's great, but other times it's just.
But like Avatar
it pulls you out of it.
was filmed for 3D, so
Yeah,
it
yeah,
worked.
yeah. It
But
makes
then
sense.
you got like Clash the Titans, which I've never seen, but I heard it was converted to 3D.
Most of the movie, yeah. Even
So
like
it
Megamind, like all out of nowhere that just became a 3D movie, like the last week. Oh, by the way, this is in 3D.
I mean, the reason they're doing it is because it's really easy to pirate and see things for free, and then they go, there's a reason to go see it in the theaters. You gotta put the glasses on, and it's interactive,
Right.
so I think, yeah, it's gonna continue to become more interactive to make money.
The next few questions are by Dalte Burden. Often, when you're just speaking to the camera, the sound is really low. Why don't you use a mic closer to you so you can be heard better? We will work on that. Yeah, we will. Most of your shorts seem to be more on the funny side. Is this due to it being easier to write off-the-wall slapstick on a weekly basis, or is that just the style you prefer? And if it is due to the ease of slapstick style, what style would you prefer to write if given the time and resources? Well, it actually kind of bounces around. We usually have a couple serious ones and a couple comedy shorts. We show variety, but it definitely is easier to come with comedy. I mean, that's, at least with us, it's easier.
Well, especially when you have,
We're
Because you're just
hilarious.
goofing around.
yeah, when you're making some with your friends, things tend to be lighter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
when
it's
I
a
think
lot easier to do a comedy in
Exactly.
a day than it is a drama, because drama, you gotta plan more. Plus the lighting is a big deal with dramas.
You get away with more in comedy. It's just
it's a little bit looser.
And then the third question from them is, what kind of budget do you normally have for test film, not counting the prop build, and what equipment do you use in an average shoot? Well, our budget usually consists of nothing, because we usually don't have that much money at all.
It's all
to
about
put towards
using
back
the
effects.
resources you have. That's
Exactly.
why you tend to see some of the same locations. We've gone through pretty much all of our houses at this point.
And it was a mole, okay?
Charles, you got a package.
That would be my new video game system.
Stay quiet. I'll be seeing you tomorrow, Dad.
But something in him makes me high. I think I'll give it a try. Tonight is the night.
So yeah, it's all about using the resources you have. And for the most part, for the second part of that question was what kind of gear. I think it all depends on who's shooting.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Whoever
It's-
is available.
It's usually one of the Canon DSLR cameras, either the Rebel T2i, which Julian is using right now, or the Canon 7D, which Alan owns, Jake owns. I mean, we usually use those type of cameras. We usually have some type of sound recorder, like a
Zoom H4n.
Zoom H4n, which we're using right now. And then really, at the end, it's, as he said earlier, you've got the reflectors for bouncing light. And then we usually have some cheap Hershey lights you can buy from Lowe's or Home Depot for like between $7 to $12. Very minimal. We don't have giant professional lights being held up by C-stands or anything like that. It's just very easy, very indie. Did Puppet Zack exist before BFX? And he did, actually. I built him for a short me and Kevin Brooks were gonna do, where we both get turned into puppets through a malfunctioning, super advanced remote. But
there are Kevin Brooks puppets?
I never finished the Kevin Brooks puppet. There's a felt head that is, you know, Puppet Zack's
Kevin
got
Brooks
a
has a
rounder
felt
head.
head
Yes.
somewhere.
There's an oblong
Yeah.
head that I was going to make.
Like
Kevin.
Bert and Ernie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, plus Kevin is thinner and taller, so
Yeah.
it makes sense to have his puppet like that. but it never got done because I moved to LA, so I never
gotcha.
finished
Yeah,
it.
whatever.
That's no excuse
So yes,
now.
he existed well before VFX, but it just made sense to have him in it because of Gary being a puppet. If you go back to like the 3rd or 4th episode of Back at FX, it is how to build a puppet, and that's what I went off of to make Puppet Zack.
Stop it. I'll fight you.
Chris, no.
Chris Snupp,
Reading's hard.
do you plan on being in the movie making business in some form of as a career? And if so, what is your dream job? I moved to LA to act, but just being in filmmaking in general is what my dream job would be. Even if it's just art or prop building. But I mean, mainly my dream job truly would be acting in TV and movies.
I would love to write music for well, I've done some feature films, but like just write music for feature film or TV. Yeah.
Jake.
Oh, I hate answering this because it's such a taboo, horrible thing to say, but I would love to just write and direct for myself. That's a possibility. I mean, hey, Jon Favreau can do it, and
Dude,
Zach Braff can do it.
Quentin
Tarantino can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to pretty much do what I'm doing now, but get paid.
Yeah, Sarah.
Yeah, writing, acting, and I think eventually it's headed that way. I think I'm going to start directing.
Awesome. Giles.
Well, besides acting, precision driving, stunt driving, is something I think I'd love to make a career out of.
And balloon animals.
That too, but I'm not very good at it yet.
And Julian?
Yes, Julian.
I like movies.
Chris Snupp also asks, I've been trying to dissect some rigs, and when I watched the gun sleeve build by Eric, I was blown away and thought to myself, how did he come up with it? He must be an engineer. My question is, how do you get the knowledge for these builds? Is it research? Do engineers work for you? Have engineer friends? Etc.? I usually do research online, like, ahead of time before the build. Then there's always the,
Trial and error.
Exactly. There's some builds I'll build by myself before filming just to make sure I can do it right. And then there's other builds that, although the super time lapse is only 2 minutes long, the actual build time takes hours because I'm messing up or trying new things right as I'm building. So
and every now and then you see that too, where
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, and then I had this idea to do this,
I do
and then this
reference,
didn't
yeah.
work. So yeah.
So-
Trial and error is the biggest thing.
Oh yeah.
And just think outside the box as much as possible. Don't
Yeah.
limit yourself to stuff you can buy in one store. You know what I mean? Like think as ridiculous as possible, and generally you'll get some good ideas.
Yeah. So it's not engineers or anything like that. I mean, at least I don't think any of you guys are engineers.
Richard Fowler is an engineer.
He is.
Okay.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
He's
what
going
he
to school
went
for
to
it.
Oh.
So
We
shout
do
out.
have an engineer friend. Kick Ass by Mark Miller asks, well, first of all,
Wait, that's his name?
that's a form name.
Is the movie asking us the question?
I guess.
Fantastic.
So Kick Ass asks, has anyone on the current BFX Wayside Creations team ever attended acting/film school? And would you recommend attending said school or a DIY building school or something of that sort that I never heard of? As far as I know, and I don't want to say it wrong, sorry Tybee. Tybee went to school for acting
FSU, right?
at FSU, Florida State. Vince went to school for business, so he didn't. Julian went to school for filmmaking. Sarah, where did you go?
Cochise College. I went to school in Arizona, and I take acting.
For acting.
Yeah.
I did acting when I went to school, University of North Texas, for acting, and I've also attended a couple of acting classes here in LA, and then just young actors workshops when I was in high school.
Yeah, I went to Suffolk County Community College, from which I dropped out, studying drama and fine art and any other class I could take that wasn't mandatory. And then I took a bunch of private acting study stuff, but I don't know, the best school is doing it.
Yep.
I went to school for music in Cincinnati, the University of Cincinnati.
If you can afford to go to acting classes, do it. No matter how good you think you are or how good you actually are, you always learn something new in an acting class.
It's good to stay fresh.
And it's good to stay fresh.
Well, that's it for the second Zack Talks Back. If you have a question that we did not answer, either in this Zack Talks Back or in the first one, you can go to this link right here that's going to be in front of Sarah's face and Aaron's. It's going to be right in this general area. And we do look forward to all your questions. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to contribute? I mean, any comments or questions?
I have
that
a
you saw?
question. Jake Lloyd, what was it like to work on Star Wars as a kid?
Really? Oh, let me bring up this one because people kind of made us think about it. For the last Harry Potter thing that they did, Ryan Weber did actually do the visual effects. Emmy award-winning Ryan Weber is fantastic. He's a friend of mine. Told him I was doing that, and he decided, hey, I'd love to help you with that. He did all of the wand battle stuff. So that was legitimately...
We're going to show a clip right now. That was a great clip.
That was a fantastic clip that appeared out of nowhere, kind of the way the characters did. See, tie them all together.
One question that I did see on the zombie test film was whether or not the picture that I'm holding actually is of my wife.
Which clip?
Officials are now saying to keep all infected loved ones locked away inside your home till support forces can arrive.
Yes, actually, it is actually a picture of my wife. That is a picture from our wedding. And she had no idea that she was in it. She was rather surprised.
Ah.
Wait, the wedding or the video?
Oh, I see what you did there.
Kevin, do you
Does
have any
Kevin have
questions or
anything? Somebody
comments?
make a sudden movement. Ready?
Oh,
Trouble in Paradise.
All right, guys, that is it. And we'll see you guys next week with the level 10 build. So, happy holidays. All right.
Happy holidays.